So, so I made this Geometry Dash. I guess you could call it random level maker. Now, this is the code for it up here. I wrote this all by myself. Now, down here is the console for it. So, I'm going to quickly just explain what is going on here. And real quick, I'm just going to let you, show how many lines there are. Just so you can actually get an idea of how long this would have taken. So, up here we're importing two modules called, one is called random, one is called time. Random allows me to pick just random numbers, and time allows me to pick, allows me to wait for a second. Time allows me to wait for a second, which I only use once, but it's very useful that it's in there. Right here, we're defining a function called colors. This is where arguments would go, but we have no arguments for colors because we don't need any. So right here, we're saying, the variable red is random, which is the name of the file that it's in, dot randint, which is the name of the function that it's running, which will randomly pick a number from this number right here to this number. So in our case, 1 to 255. Now, I chose that, this actually works for a specific reason because there is a file, it's a DLL file that you can put in your game that allows you to input an RGB code. You do require MegaHack for this. I think it might work with MegaHack V5. I've never tested it, but it should. Next, right here, we're defining a dictionary called converter, which we use later to convert letters to numbers. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. To convert numbers to letters. But that's not important yet. Now, next we have name. Follows the same rule as this right here. That line 5 and line 40 share that. Now I'm saying the variable count is 1. And then I'm saying the variable name is just blank. It's got nothing in it. Now, next, we're saying that while count is not equal to 27, run this. So, what this is doing is, we'll go line by line again. Now, we're starting by saying, hey, count is now count, but add 1 to that. So that's how it gets up to 27. This right here is pretty much saying the character's number is a random number from 1 to 26, as you can already see from these 3 lines. Also, I defined color as a tuple right here, so color is the 3 of these. Now, next on this line, we're saying character equals converter. Yeah, so basically what this is we're saying, hey, this is a new variable. It's called character. So that character now gets assigned to where it's using this converter dictionary. And we're taking this, turning the number here into a string, which is like this rather than this. So that's the simple explanation of that. And then, of course, it's saying, hey, do this. I think you can kind of get this part easily, and you probably also get like this and maybe this, probably the print as well, because print is just saying, hey, put this out down here. That's how I'm able to say tis the action. Well, I'm doing tis the action a little differently, but that's not the point. Now, next we're saying, well, if upcase, and we're saying that upcase is a random number from 1 to 2. If it's 2, then we're saying, hey, character should be uppercase. And now we're saying that name is now itself plus you add character at the end. To where if we get like Z, it would then add a Z into that blank string. And then after that, if we get a B, we would have ZB as the string. And that would go on 24 more times. And then it's just printing out the name after this while count is done. Keep note of an indentation. Basically, Python uses indentation. So you should kind of be able to see like this. This is inside of this, and these are inside of this, and like this is inside of this. So that's the way it works. Now next we're doing part. So basically we're saying this is short for game mode. It's just abbreviation that I like to use. It's random.random that which we've used so many times. So. And then this part here, we've already gone over what it's saying. And that's all it is. And then this is a little different. Basically, what's going on is means it's a function string, meaning it can store stuff in it. So, for example, if I were to remove this, this would they would just make a SBDGM with a unique. However, with this F, boom! All of a sudden, this means make a. Then show this variable, then show this variable then show this variable. This part down here is just saying, well, while this is true, you kind of need to know what that means. It's simple. And then it's saying, well, action is now this input, and then it's saying it's lower. So, then it's doing the whole, if action, it equals that. And this means it's lowercase, and then it's running the functions we had earlier. So if we look back up here, you'll see colors, and that's the same for everything. Now then there's this quit, so you can quit the program, and I use break to end it. Now I put process ending in 3 seconds, and this is the only place I use time.sleep, but it actually is super useful. Seriously, one of the best uses of sleep. And that's not even like me being sarcastic or anything. And obviously then here, if it's not any of these, we're saying error. I put the 0 in there just to do it. Now, if we run it, 'tis the action you can see right here. Well, it could be palette, so we'll run palette, and it'll give us 3 numbers. Wow, that's going to be very red. If we put name, it'll give us let's try and say this. Slabugbuh fadl vup kusel gokshad zub. That is my best attempt at saying that. And I bet you if you were to run this 1,000 times, you could get a word. So we can just do name, name, and name, and name. Yeah, and it's not unlikely that you would get a word because, is exist. It. Boom. Oh, we got it twice in a row. And then obviously, part, quit. And then with quit, it's gonna, boom. That pretty much means there was no error. Just to kind of, I like that. I spent a good long while working on this. It is 111 lines of code. It's kind of 111. When it comes down to it, in actual lines of code, it is, just have to remove all the stuff that makes it easy to read. It is 101 lines of code. And then with most of the stuff, it could be defined in a different way, but, I'm lazy. Like, if I wanted to make it exactly 100 lines of code, I could just, I could just do that, boom, now it's 100 lines of code. So, hey, you can make random geometry dash levels in exactly 100 lines of code. And it still works, of course. To show that, I'll just do name, it still works. But, yes, this is way too hard to, well, it's not hard, it's time consuming. But yes, I hope you enjoyed my 10-minute explanation of this. This took too long to make and explain. Goodbye.